Hi, everybody. This is Katy Ganz, the speech therapist for Starlight School and the Tuscarawas County Board of Developmental Disabilities. And I'm here today to talk with you about descriptive language and how can we teach kiddos to use adjectives at home. One of the best ways to teach about adjectives, in my opinion, is science experiments. It gives us a hands-on way to teach our kiddos with language impairments or autism spectrum disorder about how to use descriptive language, which can be kind of abstract and hard for them to understand. So today we're going to talk about 5 different experiments that don't require a lot of work that you can do at home to teach a language concept. So the first one we're going to talk a little bit about is the water xylophone. This is an example of a water xylophone. Water xylophones are great for teaching the concept of empty and full. It's great because you can talk about how as the glass gets more and more empty, or as it's less full, the sound goes down. But when the glass is goes up. When the glass is more full, the sound gets lower. And for our kiddos who are more advanced, you can even talk about that high pitch and low pitch sounds. It's nice because you can use just regular glasses from your home. In this case, they do have a actual mallet, but if you don't have a mallet, that's okay. You can just use a sucker or even just a spoon from your kitchen. Okay, so that's our concept of empty and full. But another concept that I like to use science to teach is the concept of heavy and light. So sometimes I like to do the story, The Three Little Pigs. And in it, the big bad wolf is able to huff and puff and blow things around. And you can talk about the concept that he can't blow over that brick house because it's heavy. Well, here we have an example of a bunch of different items that are heavy or light. And one of my favorite ways to do an experiment to see if something is heavy or light is with a blow dryer or a box fan, whatever's safer and easier for you to use at home. And you basically just have the kids predict if it'll blow away if put in front of the box fan or the hair dryer. Here you can see some examples of items they used, which includes canned spaghetti, a sponge, maybe some coffee filters. Anything you have in the house will work just fine. So we talked about empty and full. We talked about heavy and light. How about sink and float? Kids love water-based experiments, and this is a really fun, easy one. I especially like that in our picture, they included different tubs to then sort items into whether they sink or float. You can also expand this to include light and heavy as another descriptive adjective pair. Here you can see they use just random toys, feathers. I love to use cotton balls and Q-tips because everybody has them in their house. And it's a fun way to experiment and use that descriptive language. You can also see if you drop it from a higher height, will it be more likely to sink? Versus if you drop it from a lower height, which is another great way to talk about descriptive language. So that was our third experiment. Experiment number 4. How about we talk about towers? Building towers are a great way to talk about tall and short. I am 5 foot tall, so I'm pretty short, but I love building towers with kids. They can make predictions about how tall they think their tower can get before falling down, and you can try it multiple times. The tower featured here uses cups. Cups are great, bowls. I really enjoy using pool noodles, especially you cut them up into different pieces and then you try and stack your pool noodle. You can also expand this to a more integrated science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM project by incorporating things like tongue depressors or popsicle sticks and toothpicks. I also like to use gumdrops because then you get to eat it when you're all done. Again, don't forget to talk about tall and short. You can also talk about whether or not it's sturdy or whether it's wobbly or wiggly. There's so many great adjectives you can use when doing a science experiment like that. Now, the last one I'm going to share with you is one that might require a little more prep than the rest. This is a melting ice science experiment. What better way to teach kids about hot and cold than letting them experience it themselves? It's as simple as freezing a block of ice. Sometimes it's fun to hide the toys in the ice, like small animals or beads. You then freeze 2 blocks of ice, and you allow the kids to use salt or hot water to see which one will melt faster. It's a great way. You can talk about hot and cold. You can even talk about warm. You can use other adjectives for temperature that maybe we don't talk about all the time, like chilly or freezing. So many great language concepts. Science is really fun for a lot of our kids because it's hands-on. It's not as hard for some of our kids as phonics and computation. So let's use it to teach descriptive language. I'm so glad you guys stopped by for a couple minutes to hear about this. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.